All right, let's dive into what's been going on with the Chargers in free agency's first week. They've been busy, no doubt, shoring up that defensive line with some budget-friendly pickups, grabbing one of the best guards out there, and locking down a new starting running back. Solid moves, right? But here's the deal. They've still got work to do if they want this roster to look stronger than it did last year. No sugarcoating it. There's gaps to fill. Good thing is they've got time. Free agency's still rolling, and the NFL draft's just a month away. Plenty of chances to keep building. So let's break it down. I'm going to run through every position group for the Chargers and lay out what I think they need to focus on next for each spot. Straight up expert take, no fluff? Let's get into it. What's up, buddies? Welcome back. If you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We cover all AFC West news here on this channel. All right, let's hit the quarterback spot for the Chargers first. They've got 3 guys locked in right now. No needs here, plain and simple. They've locked down Taylor Heineke with an extension through 2026, which keeps that room steady. Easton Stick's still hanging in there as QB3, ready to step up as the emergency guy on game days if it comes to that. What's the move going forward? Honestly, nothing. They're set on this position. No reason to mess with this group, it's solid as is. So let's move on. Coming up next, we have running backs for the Chargers. They've got 4 on the roster right now. Big need here? A solid RB1 and some depth. They made a splash by signing Najee Harris from the Steelers, and man, that's a game changer. Guy's been pounding out 1,000-yard seasons like clockwork. 4 straights, no misses since he hit the league. That's a huge boost for the Bolts run game. Way more reliable than what they've had before. But check this. Behind Harris, it's Kamani Vidal, a 6th rounder from 2024, Hassan Haskins, and Jarrett Patterson. Vidal and Haskins had their flashes last season, sure, but nothing that screams, we're good here. It's not enough to just sit tight. Look at the Lions with Montgomery and Gibbs, or the Ravens with Henry and Hill, even the Bucks with Irving and White. These teams have a 1-2 punch, and it works. If the Chargers are serious about being that kind of contender they keep talking about, they've got to find a real running mate for Harris. So what's the play? Go get another impactful back in this year's draft to pair with Najee. That's the move. Keep the run game rolling deep. All right, now let's jump into the wide receiver spot for the Chargers. They've got 8 guys on the roster right now. What's the need? A rookie who can grow into a starter, plus some depth. Bringing back Mike Williams was a smart call. Gives Justin Herbert a dependable X-receiver right away. That frees up Ladd McConkey to eat in the slot, and Quentin Johnston can slide around the formation, maybe catch a mismatch or two. It's a good look for this year. But here's the catch. Williams is only locked in for 1 season, and behind those 3, the depth's looking pretty thin. Can't ignore that. They've got to think ahead. What's the move? Hit the draft and grab a young receiver they can coach up, someone who's ready to start by year 2. Or if they want a quick fix, sign a cheap veteran who can step in if injuries hit. Either way, they need to beef up that room. That's the play. Keep Herbert happy with targets for the long haul. Next is the tight end position. They've got 3 on the roster right now. Big needs here? A legit TE1 and some depth. This is a spot they could absolutely target in the first round of the draft. With how free agency shook out for other teams, a guy like Colston Loveland from Michigan might just drop to them at number 22. But even if he's off the board, they can't walk away empty-handed. The current crew, Will Dissly, Tucker Fisk, McAllen Castles, it's rough, man. Super thin. No real game changer there. Honestly, I'd say go big here. Double dip at tight end in the draft like the Ravens have pulled off a couple times in the last 10 years. Chargers have 10 picks to play with. Why not? Grab a stud in the first 2 rounds, then snag another on day 3. Gotta find an impact guy at a position that's too important to sleep on. That's the move. Load up and fix this spot for real. All right, let's tackle the offensive tackle spot for the Chargers. They've got 3 on the roster right now. What's the need? Depth? No question. They didn't bring back Foster Sorrell, so it's just Rashawn Slater, Joe Alt, and Tyler McClellan, that undrafted rookie from 2024. Trey Pipkins is still around and could stick as the swing tackle after they signed Mekhi Becton, but there's talk he might get cut for cap space. Here's the thing. If Pipkins is gone, they can't mess around. 1 injury to Slater or Alt, and it's panic mode. That depth's way too shaky. What's the move? Go grab a new swing tackle on day 3 of the draft. Gotta have that insurance. Keep the line solid no matter what hits. Now, moving to the interior offensive line for the Chargers, they've got 7 guys locked in right now. What's the need? A new starting center, hands down. They kept Bradley Bozeman on a cheap deal. Real minimal cash, but that shouldn't stop them from hunting for an upgrade at the center spot. If Bozeman gets bumped his $2.315 million cap hit, that's no big deal for a reliable backup. Now, if Bozeman's not still the starter heading into 2025, I'd be hoping they at least found a new left guard to start. Running back one of the league's weakest interior lines with just 1 tweak? That's not the goal here. What's the play? Go after a future center on day 2 of the draft. Get that anchor for the line, set it up right for the long run. After the interior offensive overhaul, next is the interior defensive line for the Chargers. They've got 7 guys on the roster right now. What's the need? A real headliner. A true DL1. Letting Poona Ford walk in free agency? That's the biggest misstep they've made so far, no doubt. To patch it up, they grabbed Naquan Jones and Deshaun Hand, 2 career backups. They'll mix in with Tier Tart and Otito Ogbonia in the rotation. But here's the problem. This group's missing a star, a legit starter. None of these guys are jumping off the page as starters anywhere else in the league. Makes me think the Chargers are eyeing the draft to fix this, probably in the first couple days. You hear Michigan's Kenneth Grant tossed around a lot for this spot. Good news is it's a deep defensive tackle class. Some solid names should still be hanging around on day 2. What's the move? Go find a new starter in the first 3 rounds, or at least grab another body to heat up the competition in that room. Gotta get a game changer in there. Now comes edge rushers. The Chargers have got 6 on the roster right now. What's the need? A future starter and some depth. They convinced Khalil Mack to stick around for 1 more year, which is huge. He's rolling with Tuli Tuipulotu and Bud Dupree as the top 3. Solid group there. But behind them, it's a bunch of former undrafted guys who aren't ready to step up yet. No pressure to swing for the fences, but they've got to think ahead. What's the play? Grab a developmental guy in the draft, someone who can sit behind Mack and the crew for most of year 1, soak it all in, and be ready to roll in 2026 alongside Tuli. Round 3 or 4 makes sense for that, and heck, maybe even double dip on day 3 to really stock up. That's the move. Build for now and the future. If we talk about the linebacker spot for the Chargers, they've got 7 guys on the roster right now. What's the need? Depth, for sure. They took a hit losing Nick Niemann to the Texans in free agency. He was big on special teams and as a backup. On the flip side, they kept Denzel Perryman and Troy Dye, which is good. They've got enough bodies here, but I'd love to see them beef up that depth even more. Right now, Jeremiah Jean-Baptiste, Shaq Quarterman, and Delshon Phillips are sitting as LB5, LB6, and LB7. Not exactly screaming confidence if they're forced into big roles. If they roll with this as is, they'll probably get by, especially if Junior Colson steps up in his second year, so they should grab a cheap free agent or use one of those late day 3 picks on a special teams kind of guy. That's the play. Keep the room steady and ready for anything. All right, now let's break down the cornerback spot for the Chargers. They've got 5 on the roster right now. What's the need? A new starting slot corner. They nailed it with Tarheeb Still and Cam Hart last year, 5th-round rookies who stepped up. Then they added Dante Jackson, who's bounced between the Panthers and Steelers to start, and grabbed Benjamin St-Juste from the Commanders for some depth. Overall, they've got the numbers, no doubt. But here's where it gets dicey. I'd love to see them upgrade that slot corner spot when Derwin James isn't sliding in there. Josser Taylor's the guy right now, and man, he was a weak link last season. Letting him eat up that many snaps again? That'd be a mistake. What's the move? Take one of their day 3 picks, plenty to go around, and snag at least 1 new slot guy. Hope those free agent signings hold up too. That's the play. Tighten up that secondary. Okay, let's wrap this up with the safety spot for the Chargers. They've got 5 on the roster right now. What's the need? Depth, plain and simple. They've got what might be the best safety trio in the league. Nobody's arguing they need a starter or even a next guy up. But behind those 3, it's looking pretty May. Kendall Williamson and Emini Johnson are okay for the back end of the roster, but in Jesse Minter's defense, where safeties matter big time, I'd feel better with 1 more reliable name in the mix. So what's the move? Grab a day 3 pick and try to bump up that depth. Nothing flashy, just a solid ad to keep things tight back there. That's the play. Shore it up and roll. There you have it. Every spot on the Chargers roster broken down with the real deal on what they've done and what's still got to happen. Free agency is just the start, and with the draft a month out, this team's got moves to make. So what do you think? Which position do you think is the most critical and the Chargers should focus on priority? Share your thoughts in the comment section.